I had 13 friends that we hung out. 9 of them died and 4 of us are sober.
Wow.
I never would have used any drugs. When my parents got a divorce, within a week I was smoking pot and within a short time shooting heroin.
I had to be the victim of my story in order to perpetuate my behavior. And the main perpetrators of my story were my parents. They said we get it. We messed up when you were young.
You're homeless at 15?
My home life wasn't ideal for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to get what I needed and wanted from my parents. And so I split.
Got it.
Are you not tired of this?
I was tired of disappointing my family. I was tired of disappointing my friends. I was tired of disappointing me.
Labeled a slow learner.
I always felt a little bit
Always felt
different.
like there was something wrong with me.
so embarrassed. Wasn't ready to see myself.
I can't go any
Don't
lower.
sell yourself short.
Uncovering all those feelings. Everything was lifted at that moment.
This really wasn't about not drinking.
Welcome to Crosstalk Podcast, where we do our part to inspire recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. And I have Irene Lignos with me, my co-host. Hey, Irene.
Hey, Corey.
And we have some great guests for you today. 2 people. We're in LA on our West Coast swing. Crosstalk is really happy to welcome Richard W. and John K. Hello, guys.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Welcome.
see you.
We're so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
We are honored to have you on Crosstalk, and we'd like to just jump in right away. I understand you guys are sober, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
And you've been sober a little while. Why don't you, either one of you start, whoever wants to go first, just tell us a little bit about where you started.
Who's ever more humble?
Oh, that would be you.
That's you.
That is me. I'm sober 43 and a half years. I got sober December 7th, 1981. Bombed out on Pearl Harbor Day.
Wow.
So it's
43
been a
years.
journey. Yeah.
Can I ask
Yes.
how old you
I'm 65. I was 22.
are? Wow, you look good.
Right.
I feel good. It's energy
Do
is
you
what it is.
think
And
that-
I haven't worked out in like 3 years. I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to begin to get started working out right now.
Do you think the looking this good is because you haven't drank for so long?
Oh, there's no doubt about
For
it.
sure.
Clean living. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to be a yoga teacher and raw vegan for a year. I don't recommend that, but yeah, just live life, be of service, help people,
That's
go to
amazing.
meetings, don't drink, don't take any drugs. I take none. I've had a bad back for like 3 months. I didn't take anything.
Not even
Ibuprofen.
Tylenol?
I took ibuprofen a
Okay,
couple
okay.
times. When did you get sober?
Well, I originally got sober in 2003, and I
Mm.
stayed sober for about 7 years, and then I went out, and then I had about 4.5 years and went out, and then I had about 3 years, if you don't count the Ativan, and then now I'm back for 8, just had 8 years.
Congratulations.
So I've been sober for the
Yeah.
better part of the past 20 plus years.
So what's your sobriety date this time?
This time it's January 22nd, 2017. Yeah.
Oh, we have the same. We're right on track.
Awesome.
We're the same.
Yeah, we can give
Nice.
each other cakes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cake. I love cake.
Yeah.
Well,
a
that's
good
another addiction. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
So, Rich, how did things start in your life? It's a while. You're probably at your age. You probably can't remember too much anymore.
I
But
remember it
Sharp as
all.
a tack, this dude. Yeah.
I remember it all. Unfortunately, I never had a blackout, so I remember every damn thing that ever happened. From
So
about
where
8
did it
years
start?
old.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that it started when my parents got a divorce. I never would have used any drugs or acted out while my dad was there. But when my parents got a divorce, within a week I was smoking pot and within a short time shooting heroin. I quit when I was 17. So I had like a drug life before a drinking life. So, you cut back and, okay, I'll quit that, but I think I'll just drink.
so you quit when you were 17. Everything,
I
or just quit
No, I quit, hard drugs and went into cocaine basically.
at 17?
Yeah.
And what did 17 till you got sober? What did those
Yeah.
years look like?
They were hell. I mean, I've been to 3 rehabs, inpatient rehabs, and an outpatient. None of them worked. And then at 22, I was living about 3 blocks away from a group of people. I walked over there, and I didn't want to go. I don't know, something just pulled me. There was actually a canal, a waterway in between it, and I took a shortcut, and it was like a half a mile either way around. And I walked up against that water. I was like, oh God, see, and I started to walk home, and I thought, you better go now. And I walked all the way around, and been sober since that day.
What was on the other side that you
Oh, a
walked
big
to?
meeting hall with a bunch of people.
Oh, it was a 12-step meeting.
Yeah, 12-step meeting.
I want to circle back for a second. So you said that you started smoking pot at 13. 12, sorry. And then you switched to heroin pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, you do everything. You do a little bit of mushrooms, a little bit of acid. You just keep working your way up I had some gnarly friends. And I will say that I had 13 friends that we hung out. 9 of them died, and 4 of us are sober.
And
A long time.
why at 17 did you, what was the change then? Was that a treatment that you went to that you decided maybe cocaine is the answer?
No, I had an overdose in Hawaii, and I could barely, I was gone, but they said I was dead in the house. And these 3 guys were like, I heard them say, let's throw him in the dumpster. Get him outside, throw him in the dumpster. And I was like, oh, wow, these are some good friends. And one of them, I didn't know them.
That's love.
That's love. And one of them
I would
said,
call that tough love.
tough love. There you go. Dumpster love. And one of them said, no, he's my wife's friend. Let's throw him in the shower. And kind of came through in the shower, and I thought, ooh, that's the last time I'm doing that.
Oof.
China white.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then I went to my first meeting by accident. I had turned these people on to some weed, and one of them said, can you walk my mom up to the YMCA? This was in Hawaii. I go, yeah, sure. Or YWCA. And it was some meeting, about 50 people, and I drank 2 beers, one put on the ledge, and then at the break I drank the other one, and they go, are you alcoholic? I go, no.
Mm-hmm.
I go, my dad is up in Alaska. Maybe you should send somebody from one of your chapters up there. And then at 18, I went into treatment. 19, 21. And that's about it. And then an outpatient. None of it worked until I wanted it.
Your dad, I may have missed this. Your dad was an active alcoholic?
He was, but he was very, very successful. He retired in his mid-30s. Never had to work again.
Did he continue to drink? Or
Yeah, he loved to drink. Yeah, that was his...
So he never got sober?
Yeah, he's sober. I mean, he doesn't drink anymore. He's 90. But he's very healthy. He's doing good.
What changed that made you want it?
The gift of desperation, for sure. Just tired of... I was tired. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, the last few months, I was the #1 Honda salesman in the country, motorcycles. I had a crash on a motorcycle at the races, had half of my head cut off.
Oh my God.
And then 2 weeks later, I had all the bandages on. I went to a party. Somebody was following me home, and somebody ran into them about 60 miles an hour, and I had an automatic weapon and a bunch of coke in the car, and I just got out on a main street and started firing down on his car. I was so high I could hear him laughing.
Wow.
And then a week after that, I had a fatal car accident. Somebody died.
So we need to make a movie called Dumpster Love.
Yeah, dumpster
Yeah.
love.
That's craziness.
So can I...
And that wasn't even it got pretty bad.
That was like a Tuesday night for you.
So that wasn't the bottom.
No. I mean, I went to the Caribbean for about 3 months on some friends of the family had a big yacht and made their life a living hell down there. They not hired me, but they wanted me to come and keep pirates off their boat while they were sailing around the Caribbean.
Wow.
And it got real dark down there. And then I came back, and that was it.
And I think that, you said something that's key for me is like you wanted it. That was the only thing. You went to treatment, you did this, you did that, but then you finally wanted it. And I think a lot of people like try to help someone get sober or send them here or this and that, but it's like not until you can't help
I
someone.
wanted it and I needed it. I knew I was an alcoholic. There's no doubt. And I knew I was a drug addict. And, it's really like the love of a mother. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be sober. For sure.
That's amazing.
Can you explain what you just said?
Well, I mean, she never, moms, generally don't give up, and let's try this treatment center. Let's do this. Let's do that.
So
And
at the end, what did mom do?
I think at the end, I mean, I think that was I was tired of disappointing my family. I was tired of disappointing my friends. I was tired of disappointing me. Um, but she was always enthusiastic. And I remember bringing her to a meeting when I was 18 days sober. They had a Christmas Day meeting with my sponsor was a speaker. And that was the greatest gift I could have given, my mom.
She went to the meeting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a great meeting. Yeah, it's a life changer, And that guy saved my life, taking me through the steps and showing me how to make amends. And there were guys there there was a guy named Black Wally. I'll never forget what he said, hopefully. He said, I would rather go through life stone cold sober, believing that I'm an alcoholic, than to go through life drunk, even a little bit drunk, trying to convince myself that I'm not. And that really stuck, because I got it. That was my life. So yeah, they saved my life. And then a guy took me on 12-step calls all the time. That's where I learned how to do interventions. I've done over 100 of them, flying around, and helped a lot of people.
With interventions, sometimes, many times they work, and you get people to at least take a first step to try to figure it out. When it doesn't work, I know you're not responsible. We're, as they say, in the trying business, not in the results business. But how do you deal with, not being able to get somebody to, because it happens often.
It's going to sound weird, but I've only had one person that didn't go into treatment that day. And he came and lived with me 3 months later because he went into a coma. First off, his mom said, "You're going today." He's batting 1,000. And he looked at me and he's like, "I'd rather die than you keep that record." And he went into a coma at a concert about a month or two later or whatever. And the judge told him, "You either go to jail or you go to treatment." And he said to his parents, they're very famous people, he said to his parents, "What about that guy? He said I could come live with him." And they go, "Are you kidding?" Because he hated me. And he came out and lived with me for 3 months. So.
And have you done that a lot?
Yeah. Like I said, we started the sober coaching thing in the 90s. We used to own sober coaching. I won't give the website, but somebody else has it. And yeah, that wasn't my favorite. But I'll go to any lengths, and people went to any lengths to help me.
I love that because so many people have said to me, when I got sober, they were like, "Oh, do anything, just don't have don't have them stay at your apartment."
Yeah.
Because I guess the person who was telling me that, I found out later, someone had taken their life at their apartment, and it really did something to them.
That happened to Bill Wilson.
Yeah.
They'll burn a mattress.
Yeah.
So, John, tell us a little bit about your beginning and how you got to be in a place where you're in recovery.
Yeah, my mom was 18-year-old, new to Al-Anon, one of 4 kids whose father, my grandpa Jim, had some extramarital affairs when they were all very young, and the family splintered. And so it was, she had a lot of that, abandonment stuff, which they didn't talk about back then. But, as I got to know her as a person much later in life and got to hear more of her story, I got to really kind of see the whole person as someone sort of reeling from the pains of their father just packing up and disappearing when they were really young. And a mom who, my grandma Dorothy, who also just recently passed away.
Sorry.
Thank you. She was, like everything's fine kind of thing. Everything's fine. We don't talk about it. She was, a great person, love her to death, but there was a lot of that just, hush up kind of stuff. And so my mom never got to process anything. So she met my dad, who was one of 4 boys, John, Matthew, James, and Luke, and
That
there was
sounds like the Bible.
no Bible
Like,
anywhere
literally.
in the house. Yeah, there was. I think it was just let's just grab the closest book and just find some names, And their father, my grandpa, who I never met, was a very violent military alcoholic, super violent, physically violent, and that's my. I asked my dad. I said, "What was my grandpa like?" And he told me a story when he was really young. It was Christmas. Mind you, this is like the 60s too. So he's anywhere, I can't remember, 6, 7, 8 years old. He's coming home from a friend's house. It's Christmas Eve. He gets to the house and the front window is broken and the tree and the gifts are out in the yard. And he goes inside and he sees his mom huddled, like hiding, just, beaten, bloodied. And she just looked at him and said, "Run." And he's like, that was my father. That's how I grew up. And I was like, gee, so they gave him an open-ended prescription for Valium, and I'll let him tell his story sometime. But so that's kind of what my dad was, reeling from he was 21 years old. He was a year sober, dry, hadn't gone through the steps yet. He was in the Pacific group. And so they had me, and they were going through all the things that people go through and being young and having a new child. And they split up when I was 2 or 3 years old. And what happened was my mom left my dad for his sponsor.
Oof.
So wherever I was when I was a kid growing up, I grew up in meetings. Everybody in the family sober, mom's an Al-Anon, step family sober, big Pacific group thing, which is like a big meeting group out here. So we went to Clancy. I'm sure you heard of Clancy. We went to his place every Saturday to the yard. So I grew up with a lot of I grew up around a lot of alcoholics, sober alcoholics, but not always super healthy and recovered alcoholics, so to speak,
You mean they're human?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Human plus. So I bounced back and forth from house to house, and I started, sort of acting out or getting in trouble a lot when I was young, and my sort of desperation for attention and approval and, esteem and attachment and connection and all those things that children want and need. And, but wasn't able to get because my parents weren't able to sort of provide that for me because of how
Right.
they how they were raised and what they were going through. But I don't want to like villainize them at all. I mean, they were great people, and I was always provided for, and we always spent time together. But as far as that attachment component is concerned, it just wasn't there. And so I went out into the world and sought out, exterior validation. The line is like, one of the hallmarks of codependency is an inability to esteem yourself. It's an inability to generate self-worth and self-esteem from the inside. So what we learn how to do at an early age is behave a certain way or do certain things, act a certain way, to have it then reflected back to us from the outside, right? Like if I'm a good boy, then mom loves me. If I keep the house clean, then dad, so you learn to be a people player. I learned to be whatever anybody needed or wanted me to be, so I can have that good feeling of, being a part of reflected back to me. That's incredibly uncomfortable and a hard thing to keep up at an early age. And so I just kept getting kicked out of school and moving from place to place, and then discovered, same thing, cigarettes when I was like 8, started just drinking, not like I wasn't drinking, but raiding the liquor cabinet. And this was the 80s too. So they're like no one's parents were around, everybody's parents were working or whatever. So we'd walk to and from school in groups, and you could buy cigarettes at vending machines from Denny's or gas stations. And so we would hide in the bushes and smoke and throw rocks at cars and, blow up garbage cans with M80s and sneak into liquor cabinets and drink. And, older babysitters, turned me on to smoking weed. And so I just got into all that stuff when I was really young. Unsupervised youth of the 1980s.
Do you feel like, I used to call what you described like being a chameleon, and I thought
Exactly.
I thought that it was like my superpower when I was doing it. And it's funny that the way you described it, like just changing who you are. Do you feel like that served you?
Oh, well, you said it great. I mean, to use your term, superpower, it's the same thing that alcohol and drugs did for me. It made everything okay in a world where I just didn't feel okay. So it's like, they talk about like character defects and stuff like that. So all those are just antiquated coping mechanisms. So one of my first coping mechanisms that I learned how to do was be a chameleon. And I could just, because not only was I having that experience at home, I was moving and I was going to a different school every year. So I'd have to fit into a new school, which is challenging on its own.
That's hard.
So I just got really good at, being the class, being whatever people wanted me to be. And it is definitely a superpower. Yeah.
Protected you.
Yeah, totally. It gave me the illusion of power, of safety and comfort and security.
What did you discover when you focused on what makes me tick?
Basically everything I just described. Like I didn't know any of that stuff about how I was raised, about how it affected me. I didn't know anything about, the hallmarks of codependency. I didn't know about neglect, abuse, trauma, abandonment. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. So I just thought that I was the problem. Like there was something really wrong with me.
So on the other side of it, though, what are the things that you want? We know what you don't want. The things that adversely impacted all the acting out behavior. What are the things on the positive side that you're looking for to create a healthy, purposeful life? I know helping people is wonderful, but what are we doing for ourselves? What is it? Like some people say, I really want to be a triathlete, or it would make me feel. I mean, all I want to do is cuddle with somebody. There's all kinds of answers to the question. Have you looked at that, and is there an answer for that?
Like what makes me feel good now?
Yeah. Where do you get your greatest pleasure right now?
Well, I really do love working one-on-one with people, when you see somebody come in knowing that they had the same mindset that you had, sharing a little bit of your story and kind of seeing the light come on, and they experience, like Clancy used to refer to it as like the magic of identification. I'm sure other people said it, but that's like the first place I ever heard it.
Yeah.
And you can see that how disarming that is. It's a really profoundly spiritual experience to be able to help people in that way.
You said something that I really love, and you were telling talking about your father and how he grew up, about your mother, how she grew up, and you didn't want to villainize them, and really seeing that, yeah, you grew up with that, but you can't blame them forever, right? Like we have to take responsibility for our part at some point in life and be like, okay, well, now I'm 18, I've moved on, and where do I come into this,
Yeah, and that's a great point, because like we were talking before we hit record about someone that had been talking to you, and the question that you have is like, are you not tired of this? And I think that there's probably an element of being tired, but for me, I had to be the victim of my story in order to like perpetuate my behavior, right? I couldn't like do the things that I was doing to people and the things that I was doing to myself without being a victim of my story. You know what I mean? And the main perpetrators of my story were my parents back then. And so, of course, we've all made amends, and we've had long conversations, and I was with my mom when she died, and my dad and I are super close now, and all of the above. And they've said, like, we get it. Like, we messed up when you were young. We were really young. We didn't no idea what we were doing, kind of thing. So in a sense, I was within my right to be angry, but it was what I did with that anger. I weaponized my emotional state, and then I just layered the story on so heavy because I'm 14 years old and I'm homeless heroin addict, 15 now. Then if I told you the story, then I'm telling you guys, yeah, my parents, they were just dealing with their thing, and I know I'm not a victim. I'm not going to be able to get what I want from you. You know what I mean? I go, my dad left me in Seattle when I was 15, and like, oh my God, here's some money. It's just so I was able to get what I wanted from the world and its inhabitants by being a victim of my story. Of course. Yeah. And without that.
So you were homeless at 15?
Yeah, by choice.
Right. Well, either way, choice or not, you were homeless.
I could have gone home, but I really didn't. My home life wasn't ideal for me. Yeah. I wasn't, like I was saying, I wasn't able to get what I needed and wanted from my parents. And so I split.
I love that you said, though, now you have a good relationship, because I had a similar conversation with my mother. She was like 19 when she started having a fit. She's like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really want to have kids, but I did. And then, was I not the best mother? Maybe, but that's all I knew. Yeah. And you forgive them because that's all, or for me, I forgive them because that's all they knew. She didn't know better. She did her best.
Yeah. It took an enormous amount of, I always like to say, I'm not a spokesperson for AA. It's just what's worked for me, and I'm versed in the language, and I believe strongly in the 12-step modality of recovery. I've done it in several different various areas in my life where I've had trouble that I could not overcome on my own. So just to be clear, but a big part of that is written inventory. And that, to answer the question, that's how I got intimate with what makes me tick, was because I did endless writing and had somebody that I was able to read it to that knew how to listen and knew what to tell me and knew what to look for. But I did a lot of written inventories to get over the resentment. And the way that I got over the resentment was I got clear on what actually happened, right? I got some clarity. And then through that, I was able to rewrite my story and then no longer be the victim unless I choose to be the victim, right? I can still fall into that role pretty quickly without even knowing that I'm doing it.
Right.
So how did the two of you, I know you guys are buddies. How did you guys meet?
His dad and we were like best friends, his dad and I, and I've known him since he was just a little toddler. And then when, I guess when the shit hit the fan with you, I kind of helped him out, sponsored him, went through the steps.
I'm curious, we all hear things as we go through this arc of learning how to live in our best way. We get advice from people. Any particular things that stick in your mind as being really pivotal things that people told you on your path?
No.
Get your shit together, you fucking loser. I was like, all right.
Well, you brought up something that just made me think about it. Recovery is really about doing it somebody else's way. My way didn't work. I'm sober by the grace of God and a lot of hard work. I've had to do a lot of inventories, get out of self, help other people, do things I don't want to do. I just drove 2 hours to speak for 10 minutes the other day. I do a lot of contrary action, but I was, like I said, I got sober with a lot of old timers. I was just a kid. I couldn't even tie my tie. I didn't even have a tie. But when I got a job, I had to tie a tie, and these guys are showing me how to tie a tie at the meeting.
What's contrary action?
Taking the opposite of action that you would, first take.
So not doing what you want to do, doing what you need to do.
Yeah, not doing what you want to do and doing oftentimes what you don't want to do. And, everybody needs accountability, or you're like a wild, kid running the house. But yeah, that's the beauty of a sponsorship is, they have the overview of your life. They've listened to you enough where they see it all. And oftentimes we don't see it. It's right here, Holy mackerel, it's overwhelming or frustrating or whatever. But they see the big picture and can maybe say, oh yeah, I remember that happened, whatever. But sponsorship has just been incredible for me. I've had the best sponsors,
Okay, I want to wrap. I ask everyone something. And we'll start with you. If you can go back and tell your younger self something, anything, it could be advice, it could be just, whatever. How old would you be? And what would you say? And that same goes for you too. But it could be sober too. It could be like when I was 30, I would have said XYZ. So whatever age and whatever.
I would say, I used to feel like the universe was out to get me, but I know that the universe is out to give me, and that everything's going to be okay. It always has been. It's okay right here in the moment. I have faith it's going to be okay in the future. And looking back, I can see that it always has been.
And how old would you be to tell yourself that?
God, I would say probably 12, 13.
Okay. What about you?
I would say right around like 10, 11, 12. We didn't really get into this, but anger was a monster for me. I know Mark Morrow has a great line where he says, the monster I created as a child is very hard to manage as an adult. And what I would go back and say, at that time, I probably wouldn't have listened to me, but is that the anger is only going to hurt you. And it's only going to have the reverse effect of what I really wanted. Yeah. So what I really wanted was to connect. I really wanted to attach. I really wanted somebody to be like, I see you, I hear you, I love you. It's okay. I'm not leaving. Like, it's all good. But so I would just get angry to make people go away. And I would just say, yeah, the anger is only going to hurt you, buddy.
I hear you, I see you, I love you.
I love you too.
There's this Hawaiian thing. It's called Ho'oponopono.
I know it well, yeah.
Yeah. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you. Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
Thank you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Not in that order, but yeah. I just did a Ho'oponopono thingy in Florida. Yeah, it's really good.
There's no limit to growth in the program. There's no limit to spirituality. It's just, it's like being on a rocket ship.
Yeah. I love that.
Rich, John, thank you so much for being on Crosstalk. Really enjoyed it. You enhanced what we do here, and we are grateful for you being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to ask you to follow, subscribe, hit that bell, and let us know what we're doing right. Give us your comments. We're going to listen to you. We always do. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time on Crosstalk Podcasts.